up to steganography, you are going to see it today. This finite field and number theory will be covered on Monday. So Monday, I will be completing unit 1 for your subject. So let me give a brief review on the previous lecture, services, mechanism, attack, OSI, security, architecture. And then I will go to the remaining topics under unit 1. So why should we go for cryptography and network security is there is a requirement, there is a need for information security as well as for computer security and network security. So when I talk about information security, it is common to both the computer as well as network. But as far as my computer is concerned, I am bothered about my resources, my software and the data available in the computer. But when I go to the network, I am transmitting the information. I am transmitting the information from one computer to another computer. In that case, it becomes network security. The previous one is computer security. So that is the definition given here: computer security, network security, and internet security. But mainly in our subject, we are going to focus on only internet security. Of course, internet security is a subset of network security. So in the previous class, I was telling the difference between network security and internet security. Your network security may or may not have internet, but internet security, obviously a network security. So the importance is to prevent, detect, and correct the security violation. First of all, we want to prevent the security violation. What do you mean by security violation? The network is available only for the authorized user. The network is available only for the authenticated user. So unauthorized people should not come into picture. If they are coming into picture, means it is called security violation. So first of all, we have to prevent the security violation. If you are not able to prevent, at least detect and correct the security violation so that our transmission and storage of information. See, storage of information means your computer. Transmission of information means your network. So OSI security architecture, I was telling in the previous class, there is a standard for the ITU-T XC800. XC800 is nothing but a protocol for the OSI model. OSI model means Open System Interconnection Model, International Telecommunication Union. International Telecommunication Union for in the field of telecommunication engineering. So there is a new body called ITU. This ITU only fixes the frequency for various applications in the world. So it is called International Telecommunication Union. They have proposed a protocol called X800, especially for OSI model, Open System Interconnection Model. So we come across three aspects of information security: security attack, security mechanism, and the security service. So what do you mean by security attack? Security attack is also called security threat. Both threat and attack means the same meaning only. So how to compromise? Security attack means this is nothing but an action which compromises the security of information. See, there is security available for the information in an organization. If there is a threat, if some factor is compromising the security of information, it is called security attack or security threat. So two types of attacks are possible. One is passive, second one is active. You can see the passive attack. The sender is giving the information. The hacker is reading the information and then just passing to the receiver. But in the case of the active attack, the sender is giving the information, but the hacker capturing the information, holding the information for some time interval, may modify the information, or without modification, he may replay the message to the receiver. In such a case, it is called active attack. Then what is meant by security service? The purpose of security service is to improve the security of information in a data processing system in the case of an organization. And whenever the organization or whenever the data processing system comes across the security attack or security threat, this service must be able to counter-react the security attack, detect them and prevent them, as well as correct them, is called security service. So they employ one or more methodology that is called security mechanism. So what are the two types of security services available? One is X800 protocol, another one is RFC 2828. So this is meant for adequate security of the systems or data transfer, and this is meant for specific kind of protection for the system resources. In other words, I can say X800 is meant for protecting the data in the network or a system. RFC 2828 is meant for protecting the system resources either in a computer or the resources in a network. So to protect the resources, this protocol will be used. To protect the data, X800 will be used. And we are coming across certain parameters with the security services: authentication, access control. Authentication means the valid user, authorized user coming into picture. Access control means what? Only authorized user will be allowed. Preventing unauthorized user is called access control. So data confidentiality, that means you are protecting the data from the unauthorized disclosure is called data confidential. Data integrity, you should not only protect the data, you should give the correct data, valid data from the sender to the receiver. That process is called data integrity. What is meant by non-repudiation? Non-repudiation means protection against denial by one of the party in a communication. You are an authorized user. Another authorized user is available at the other end. You are sending an information. The receiver may not deny that information. In such a case, it is called non-repudiation. Security mechanism. I was telling the security mechanism, meaning of security mechanism. It is a methodology or it is a process meant for detecting, preventing, and recovering from the security attack. It is a part of the security service. So no mechanism will support all the services required. We go for a group of security mechanism. So there will be more than one security mechanism in practical use. So all those security mechanism put together is called cryptographic technique. And this security mechanism, I can classify into two types. One is specific security mechanism. Another one is pervasive security mechanism. So specific security mechanism means you can see the parameter: integrity, authentication, access control, routing control, notarization, etc. These are the things connected with the specific security mechanism. But various pervasive security mechanism means when you come across any event means valid. Event means it is a valid action. When you come across any event, when you come across any threat or attack, this event or threat should be detected and the security recovery must be given. That is called pervasive security mechanism. You can see the model, figure 1, model for network security. There is a sender. We have a secure message, and again secure message. In the middle, information channel. Here, decryption. This portion is encryption. This portion is decryption. Receiver, sender, information channel. You may come across the opponent. Opponent means the hacker. The hackers are said to be the opponent. So where the hackers will come into picture when you come across information channel. So I was telling the meaning of encryption. Converting original message, plain text to ciphertext is called encryption. Converting ciphertext to plain text is called decryption. Of course, decryption is the reverse action for encryption. So in the center, we have the information channel and the secret information. What do you mean by secret information? Key is the secret information. You are sending a message, you are sending a key. It is subject to encryption. On the receiver side, both the message as well as key should be available. Then only the receiver will be able to recover the original message from the ciphertext information. So that is called secret information or key information. This is the diagram I stopped in the previous lecture. Model for network access security. You can see the components of the diagram. One side, opponents are available. See, the opponent may come in the case of a human being or it may come in the case of a software. Software means virus and worms. Human being means cracker or hacker will be there. They are called the opponent. In the center, we have the information channel or access channel. There is a gatekeeper function here, and this one is a system, information system or a data processing system available in a company or an organization is called present inside the system is we have computing resources. That is, you have processor, memory, input device, and the output device. Data, information, process, the action to be employed on the information is called process. Software meant for running the computer. Internal security control. Suppose you go for any antivirus software like ESET or not an antivirus, they are example for internal security control. So we have a gatekeeper function here. Apart from the gatekeeper function, we have internal security control inside the information system. Let us say one by one. So there are two things with respect to the security version of the model. One is gatekeeper function. Second one is security control. So what is gatekeeper function? To identify the user. Why should I identify the user? I have two types of user. What are the two types of user? One is authenticated user. Another one is unauthorized user. So the gatekeeper function must be able to differentiate between authorized user and the unauthorized user. What is the internal security control? The internal security control will allow only the authorized user, totally prevent the unauthorized user. So these are the two features of this network model. This model is called network access security. Previous one, network security model. Security model. Summary. So far, we have covered what are the topics we have covered. Definition for computer security, network security, internet security. Second one, X800 protocol and the standard. Third one, definition for security attack, security services, and the security mechanism. We have come across two network model. One model is called network security model. The other one is network access security model. So these are the topics we have discussed so far. Let us go to the today's topic. Classical encryption techniques. So encryption means will come on the sender side. The sender will give the plain text information. The encryptor will convert the plain text to ciphertext information. Ciphertext information means transform the message, secure the message along with the key. So for that, various classical encryption techniques are available. Let us see the techniques one by one. But before that, they are giving some definitions or terms for certain variable. You can see that actually what is the meaning of cryptography? Cryptography means study of secret writing. You are writing a message in a secret manner. You are sending the message to the receiver in the remote place. The total process is called cryptography. So crypto means secret. Graphy means writing. So the study of secret writing is called cryptography. Okay. So what are the things concerned with the developing algorithm? See, the algorithm is also called cipher. To convert plain text to ciphertext, we need some algorithm. That algorithm is called encryption algorithm. What do you mean by encryption? Converting original message to secured message, and then you are sending to the receiver. You are not sending only the transform message, you are sending the transform message along with the key to the receiver, so that with the key and the transform message, the receiver will be able to do the decryption. What do you mean by decryption? Converting ciphertext to plain text information, or in other words, converting secured message into original message for recovery in the receiver side. You can see the two information here. So what is the purpose of going for a cryptography? I want to transmit the message from the sender to the receiver in a secured manner. Not only that is the objective of cryptography, the second one, correctness of information to the receiver. In our day-to-day life, for example, X is a person giving information 1. This X is a person giving information 1 to Y. Now Y is going to tell the same information to Z. But Y will tell the correct information, whatever information received to Z, he will add some more parameter with that information. So that information will be available as information 2 rather than information 1. That means if one information is given, it will be derivated into more number of information and then given to the society. So that is called rumor. We come across rumor and the original information. So here, why there are two objectives of cryptography. One is to transform the message from the sender to the receiver in a private manner. Second one, correctness of message should be given. If you are sending the word success, same word success should reach the receiver. You should not add any other information to that. That is called correctness of the message. So there are two objectives of the cryptography. One is to transmit the information in a secure manner. Second one is correctness of message to be delivered to the recipient, which is called authentication or integrity. The previous one is called privacy or secrecy. So privacy or secrecy and the authentication are the two objectives of the cryptography. So cryptography, how do they define? It is nothing but an art or a science involving principle and the method of transforming the message. What message? Intelligible message. What do you mean by intelligible message? The message which can be read by every people is called intelligible message. You are converting to unintelligible message. What do you mean by unintelligible message? A message which cannot be read by anyone. A message which is intended only for the receiver is called unintelligible, and transforming the message back to original form is called cryptography. You can see the definition here. Plain text, original intelligible message. Ciphertext, they transform the message. Both put together is called encryption. What do you mean by cipher? An algorithm for transforming the intelligible message into unintelligible message. So converting original information into secured information is called cipher. So cipher means algorithm, key, critical information or secret information used by the cipher. So where we are giving the key, we are giving the key along with the algorithm. So the algorithm takes the key, transforms the original message into secured message, and then gives to the receiver. So key, critical information. Key is known only to the sender and the receiver and not to any other third person connected with the network. What do you mean by encipher? Encipher means encoding. In digital electronics, we come across coding and decoding, encoding and decoding. So the meaning of encoding means converting one signal from one format to another format. Decoding, reverse process of encoding. So here also encipher, converting plain text to ciphertext using a cipher and a key. So what is cipher? Cipher is the algorithm. Key means the control information, critical information or secret information is called key. Decipher, the total opposite process. And what is done by crypto analysis? Crypto analysis means code breaking. What do you mean by code breaking? We are transforming the unintelligible message into a intelligible message in the middle of the network without the knowledge of the key. That means without using the key, without the knowledge of the sender and the receiver. The hacker will come into picture in the middle of the network. So he will convert ciphertext information into plain text information, either using the key or without using the key. That process is called crypto analysis or code breaking. Code breaking means message breaking. You are sending a code. Code means what? The message in the unintelligible format is called coding. We call it as coding. So code breaking means you are breaking the message. What is cryptology? Cryptology means both the cryptography and the crypto analysis put together is called cryptology. I was telling the meaning of encryption and decryption. So mathematically, how do you define encryption? Encryption, y equal to ek of x. What is y? Y is the ciphertext information. X, plain text information. E, encryption. K, key. So I am using cipher algorithm as well as the key to convert the plain text into ciphertext information. This I can write in the other way also. E of k comma x. Y ciphertext, x plain text, k key, E encrypted message. Similarly, decryption. X equal to dk of y, or dk d of k comma y. So இது e inverse of k y. So e inverse of k, that means 1 by ek within bracket y means you will get original message. What is cryptographic system? It is also called crypto system. Now you come across three parameters. One is cryptography. Second one is cryptology. Third one is crypto analysis. Fourth one is crypto system. Crypto system means everything put together: sender, receiver, information channel, encryption, decryption, opponent, hacker, key. The total system put together is called cryptographic system or crypto system. That is what I explained here. So there are 5 parameters. Tuple means parameter, 5 tuple. 5 parameters are there: P, C, K, E, D. So what is P? A set of possible plain text information, original information. What is C? A set of possible ciphertext information, that is secret information. K, control information. Then the writing, what is 1 by EK? EK is a subset of E, and EK means converting plain text to ciphertext. DK means converting ciphertext to plain text. We are writing mathematically. Now you can see the diagram. Just have a look at the diagram for a minute. This model is called simplified conventional encryption model. Look at the diagram. We are coming across figure number 3. 2 diagrams we have already come across. One is called network security model. Second one, network access security model. Third one, conventional encryption model. Conventional encryption model. So there are 5 elements here: plain text information, encryption algorithm, decryption algorithm. In the center we have information channel and original information. The key is given to the algorithm, but the key shared by the sender and the receiver. So key is common to both the sender and receiver. It must be known only to the sender and receiver, not to any other person. So these are the 5 elements: plain text, encryption algorithm, key we are employing, converting plain text to ciphertext, transmitted ciphertext comes to the decryption algorithm. So here reverse process takes place. We are getting the plain text algorithm. Further advanced model, another advanced version of the crypto system model. The same model coming with the advanced information, or in a very detailed manner. Message source: X is the plain text, Y is the ciphertext, K is the key, X is the original information. Encryption algorithm, decryption algorithm, source, destination. Otherwise we call it as sender, receiver, key source, secure channel. See, the key is shared separately between the encryption algorithm and the decryption algorithm. So when you are when you are converting plain text to ciphertext information, the process is called encryption algorithm. At that time, key will be taken by the key source. Along with the key only, this transform message will be sent to the receiver. So key will not be sent separately to the receiver, that you keep in mind. We are sending the key, we are sharing the key between the sender and the receiver, especially between the encryptor and the decryptor, so that secured information will go there and the original information will be recovered there. See, in the middle we are coming across crypto analyst. Crypto analyst means code breaker, or we call it as opponent, hacker, cracker. They are called crypto analyst. So without the knowledge of the key, they will be able to convert ciphertext information into plain information. They may read the information passed to the receiver, passive attack. They may capture the information and replay to the receiver, active attack. One more active attack, they may even modify the information, give it to the receiver. That is also an example for active attack. So what are the Crypto analytic attacks, we come across various types of crypto analytic attacks is shown in the table. The process of attempting to discover XR key or both is called crypto analysis. Crypto analysis means you are tapping the original information with the help of the key or without the help of the key is called crypto analysis. That is called code breaking. So how the attacks come into picture? Your attack may be the ciphertext only, or known plain text information, or selected plain text, selected ciphertext, and selected text information. So these are the various probable word attack we come across in the field of crypto analysis. Exhaustive key search. There is one more attack called brute force attack. This attack is called brute force attack. So how does it work? It will theoretically simple to try every key. For example, in your mobile phone, you are putting a secret key, password. For example, a 2-element password, number password you are using. So what are the 4 combinations possible? Suppose you are using a 2 key, means the 4 possible combinations. You can go to 00 to 199. These are the 99 possible, 100 possible combinations are available. 00 to 99. So similarly, this brute force attack will see the number of key. Suppose the number of key is 2 in number or 3 in number, it will try for all possible combination to recover the original information. You can see the most basic attack directly proportional to size of the key. What is size of the key? Number of characters available in the key. You may call it as a single character key or 1 character key or 3 character key or 4 character key. So based upon the size of the key, it will try every possible combination of the key while to recover the original information so that attack can be implemented in the network. So such an attack is called brute force attack. Now we have come across 2 types of security. One is called unconditional secure. Another one is called computational secure. So we come across 2 security here. Unconditionally security means what? No matter the computer power is available, no matter your computer configuration, no matter your computer connected to any network, a cipher cannot be broken at all, because the ciphertext provides insufficient information to determine the corresponding plain text information. So certain people, they will do encryption in such a way, no one will be able to recover the plain text information from the ciphertext. So such a security is called perfect security, unconditional security. That means what? That without any condition, there is no compromise for the security in the computer is called unconditional security. Second one, computational security. What do you mean by computational security? For example, I'm spending 100 rupees. I'm spending 100 rupees for maintaining security in a system. So in that case, somebody will not spend 10 rupees to break the security and go inside it. Suppose somebody may spend 10 rupees to break it, but somebody may not spend 150 rupees or 200 rupees to break the security because it is not a worthy activity. To maintain the security, 100 rupees is required. But you have to spend 150 rupees only, then only you can break the security, go inside and recover the original information. Means it's not a worthy activity. In such a case, it is called computational security. The cost of breaking the security exceeds the value of the secured information, means computational security. That means you are providing security either for the system or either for the network with respect to the cost factor. In such a case, it is called computational security. So what are the classical encryption techniques available? I was telling in the previous class, the classical encryption techniques, generally 2 types are there. One is called substitution technique. The second one is called transposition technique. Now we are coming across the first category, substitution technique. Under substitution technique, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subdivisions are available. Caesar cipher, mono-alphabetic cipher, Playfair cipher, Hill cipher, polyalphabetic cipher. See, mono-alphabetic means using only one alphabet. Polyalphabetic means using more than one alphabet. Then one-time pad. These are the six types of substitution techniques. We will see one by one. Cipher means algorithm, that you keep in mind. Cipher means algorithm. Cipher is an algorithm to convert plain text information to ciphertext information. Transposition techniques. So under transposition techniques, we come across two more subdivision. Transposition means permutation. Rail fence techniques. Second one's block column transposition technique. The third category, product technique. What do you mean by product technique? When I employ both the substitution and the transposition cipher, it is called product technique. The first one, Caesar cipher, Julius Caesar. I think you are well aware of Julius Caesar in history, 2000 years ago. So in his name, a simple substitution cipher is called Caesar cipher. You can see this one is the plain information. We come across cipher in the second information. The message is meet me after the toga party. There is a party named as toga. Meet me after the toga party is the original information, plain text information. How they are converting to ciphertext using the Caesar cipher? 3 places further down the alphabet. Now you take the M letter, M, N, O, P. First letter is M. So three places away from M. N, O, P. The third place is P. So in the place of M is converted to P. The second one is E. 3 places, F, G, H. H is the third place. So E is converted to H, E is converted to H, T is converted to W. So what is W? The third place from T. So likewise, each and every alphabet is converted into another alphabet, third place away from it. Such a method is called Caesar cipher. You can see the plain text information given here. Even the new numbers also we can convert to like this. 0 convert to 3, 1 converted to 4, 2 converted to 5, 4 converted to 7. Plain text A to D, B to E, C to F, D to G, E to H. Likewise, Z converted to C because X is ending. W, X, Y, Z is ending. So from here onwards, the cycle is getting rotated. But how to represent this cipher mathematically? Ci equal to E of 3 comma Pi. So what is Pi? Plain text information. What is Ci? Ciphertext information. I can write it like this also. Pi plus 3 mod of 26. Why 26? 26 alphabets are available in English language. So mod of 26. Pi plus 3 is the ciphertext information. What is plain text information? It comes at the center. The first expression comes at the center. The second expression comes at the receiver. So Pi equal to Ci minus 3 mod of 26. So likewise, generalized Caesar cipher. Okay, another cipher is generalized Caesar cipher. You can have the shift either 1 to 25. In the previous case, I was having the shift 3 places away from the alphabet. You can have 4 places away, 5 places, 7 places away from each and every letter. In such a case, we have a lot of combination. So this cipher is called shift cipher. That is what mentioned here. Ci equal to Pi plus K. K means the key information. Your key information may be 4, maybe 5, or maybe 6 because we are having 26 letters are available. So 1 to 25 shift can be employed here. So they are generalizing now. In the previous case, specific Caesar cipher. But here, generalized Caesar cipher means Ci equal to Pi plus K mod of 26. So they are writing mathematical equation for the ciphertext information and the plain text information where K is nothing but the key. This is also called shift cipher method. Now we go for the second cipher method, mono alphabetic substitution cipher. In the previous case, we are using shift with respect to the number or with respect to the alphabet. Such a method is called Caesar cipher. We want for specific cipher, generalized Caesar cipher. Now the second one is mono-alphabetic substitution cipher. What do you mean by mono-alphabetic? Only single alphabet will be substituted for each and every letter in the plain text information. So such a method is called mono-alphabetic substitution cipher. Just have a look at the plain information. This is the plain information, and this is the cipher information. So this cipher information, I am substituting A for D, B for E, C for F, space away from shift by applying a shift of 3. But I can have a permutation of 26 characters for the cipher. Totally 26 letters are available in the English language. Okay. I can keep on changing this one cipher information. In the next case, I can put G to A, H to B, U to C, I to C, J to D, like what? Likewise, I can have a 26 factorial. That means 26 combinations are available. 26 permutations are available. For each and every letter, I can keep on changing the alphabet. For example, each and every letter in the plain text information, I will keep on changing the cipher text information with respect to the permutation and combination of 26 letters for the cipher. Such a method is called mono-alphabetic substitution cipher. But there is a long time threat which can be available by the frequency analysis attack. One attack we will come across called frequency analysis attack. Suppose I'm using only 2-letter combination. I'm using a 3-letter combination. So what is the frequency of a 2-letter combination, 3-letter combination in the case of English language? You can see the 2-letter AN, RE, ON, ES, ST, EN. So these are the 2-letter combination which are frequently used in the language of English. So somebody will be able to tamper the mono-alphabetic information. 3 trigrams means 3-letter combination is also available. See the word the, it is coming frequently. And the, her, was, ing, for. These are the 3-letter combination frequently used in the language of English. That is why there will be an attack called frequency analysis attack for this mono-alphabetic substitution cipher. So we move to the next method. Two more approaches are the Playfair cipher, Ill cipher, and a polyalphabetic cipher. So encrypt multiple letters of the plain text information. So instead of taking one letter, I will take multiple letters from the plain text information, convert to multiple letter combination. In that case, it is called Playfair cipher or Ill cipher. Let us see that method. So we are discussing about the substitution technique. Under substitution technique, various subdivisions are available. The first 2 cipher we have seen. The first one is Caesar cipher. The second one is mono-alphabetic substitution cipher. The third one is Playfair cipher. Just have a look at the table. Just have a look at the table for a minute. Look at the table. The white portion, they corresponds to the both the plain text and the cipher text information. But green color shading is called the keyword. What is the keyword used? Monarchy. What is the idea in this screen? I want to transmit the plain text information HSCAARMU, convert to cipher text information using the keyword monarchy, and then proceed to the information channel. That is the idea. This method is called Playfair cipher. So far, we have been substituting or one letter in the transformation. What do you mean by one letter to one letter? One letter or one alphabet I will take from the plain text information, convert to ciphertext information. Likewise, I will transform the message. For that, I came across two methods. One is Caesar cipher method. Second one is mono-alphabetic cipher method. But the third one is Playfair cipher. I'm going to take a combination. What is the combination taken here? HS, EA, AR, MU. I'm going to substitute the same two-letter combination for a two-letter combination in the plain text information. Thereby, I will complete the transformation. And generally, we go for 5 by 5 transformation table. So this table or matrix is 5 by 5 transformation table. What is called 5 by 5? 5 rows and 5 columns are available. You can see the diagram. 5 rows and 5 columns are available. White portion corresponds to plain text and ciphertext information. Green color shading, keyword. What is the keyword? Keyword means our key, secret information, owner key. Now see how the combination HS is converted to BP. Look at the table H and S. H is here, S is here. H and S are, they form a square. They form a square. They are diagonal to each other. So in such a case, you take the diagonal value. You take the diagonal value starting from H. So H corresponds to B, S corresponds to P. So the first combination is over. Second combination EA. E is here, A is here. So they form a matrix. They form a square here. So E and A are diagonal to each other. So what are the diagonal letter? E corresponds to I. E corresponds to I. A corresponds to M. A corresponds to M. So the second combination is also met. What is the third combination? AR. Very nearby. Very nearby AR. So what is the nearby in the same line? You can see it. RM. AR means very nearby. So this and the second one RM. So AR equivalent to RM. The third one is MU. M and U. So M and U are nearby. So likewise, we take the C and the M. MU, CM. So likewise, what we are doing means two-letter combination from the plain text converted to ciphertext. So this method is called multi-letter substitution cipher or Playfair cipher. But this is also subject to attack. It can be relatively easy to break. So people will go for polygram cipher. The fourth one is Yale cipher method. Yale cipher method is also a multi-letter cipher substitution method. And see, M number of plain text letters will be taken and substitutes for M number of ciphertext information, and then encryption will be done. You can see here there are two matrices available. One matrix is the key matrix. 3 by 3 key matrix is available. So using the 3 by 3 key matrix, plain text information converted to ciphertext information. So C1, C2 and C3. Here P1, P2 and P3. That means P1 is a combination of plain text information. P2 is another combination. P3 is another combination. Or 3 letters are available. P1, P2 and P3. How this is converted to C1 and C2? Because we are dealing with the M number of plain text letters converting to M number of ciphertext letters. So in the given example, the given keyword is a 3 by 3 matrix. The given plain information is P1, P2 and P3. We have to convert to C1, C2 and C3. Because 3-letter original information converted to 3-letter secured information. How do you convert? Using the 3 by 3 matrix. Using a 3 by 3 matrix, I convert P1, P2, P3 into C. And this is the mathematical expression we have come across for plain text, ciphertext, and encryption and decryption method. So this method is called Hill cipher method. Why it is called Hill cipher method means they are following the key matrix in the form of 3 by 3 Hill cipher. That is why it is called Hill cipher method. Typically, a set of monoalphabetic substitution rule is used. What is one by polyalphabetic cipher, the last method. The last method is called polyalphabetic cipher. Sorry, the fifth one is polyalphabetic cipher. So here, whatever rules we followed for monoalphabetic substitution rule, various rules will be used. For example, 5 to 6 rules will be used in the case of polyalphabetic cipher, similar to monoalphabetic cipher. But which rule should I go for employment? That depends upon which key you go for. So what they will see the key, they will select the set of monoalphabetic substitution rule, and then they will go for the implementation. In such a case, it is called polyalphabetic cipher. So one such example for a polyalphabetic cipher is Vigneri cipher. It is called Vigneri cipher. Vigneri cipher is the fifth cipher which comes under polyalphabetic cipher. One type of polyalphabetic cipher is this cipher. Each key letter determines one of the 26 shift cipher. You can see the mathematical expression for CI. For example, I am having the first letter P1. C1 is given by C1 equal to P1 plus K1 mod 26. So K1 means a set of key letter will be given here. You can see the example. It's up to you. How many letters are available? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the length of the key is 9. So C1 equal to P1 plus Ki. Plus Ki means your length of the key will be 9, then mod 26. So your plain text information will be converted to ciphertext information in such a case that by seeing the length of the key. By seeing the length of the key, they will do the conversion. With respect to length of the key, D will be converted to W. W will be converted to Z. So see the length of the key. Based upon the length of the key, W is converted to Z based upon the letter D. You can see the letter D. Letter D is the fourth place from A. A, B, C, D, number 4. So number 4 is the key length here. The first letter key length is 4. So I go to W. W, X, Y, Z. Z is the fourth place. So based upon the key length, W is converted to Z. And similarly, based upon the key length E, E is converted to I. So this method is called Vigneri method, Vigneri cipher method, which is an example for polyalphabetic cipher. One-time pad. This is the sixth subdivision we are coming across, substitution technique, one-time pad. So what do you mean by one-time pad? It is a perfect substitution cipher, improved version of Vernam cipher. It uses a random key as long as the message. For example, the message is 10 letter. A random keypad will be used without any repetition. That means each and every letter in the key will be an unique one. Key distribution is the problem. Random key generation is also a problem. With such a key, plain text and ciphertext are totally independent. This is unbreakable. Unconditional security is provided by one-time pad. So one-time pad is nothing but a random key. So each and every time they will provide a random key, unique key, so that the plain text information will be converted to ciphertext information in a unconditional secured method. Unconditional secured method. So these are the various techniques under subdivisions under substitution method. We started with Caesar cipher, generalized Caesar cipher, monoalphabetic cipher. Then comes Hill cipher. In the middle, we come across one cipher called Playfair cipher, Hill cipher, polyalphabetic cipher, big generic cipher, and finally one-time pad. So these are the subdivisions corrected with the substitution technique. So any difficulty so far? Because today's topic is a little bit difficult to understand because it is logically, it is connected with the logical thing of the subject. If there is any difficulty, you can ask me any questions here. Today's class, 61 students attended out of 73. 61 out of 73. Including me, it is 62. So any difficulty, you can put in the chat box. Any doubt, clarification regarding the substitution techniques. Any doubt, Kishore?
So no, sir. I just want to ask you, sir. Like all these techniques are outdated, right, sir? These are not used nowadays, no?
They are not used nowadays. That's what I told you.
Because there are various advanced brute force attacks and rainbow table attacks have been existing in the world, sir. Because these will be very easy for them to crack information.
I accept your point, but see the topic now. The topic is conventional encryption technique.
Oh, from the basics we are looking.
Yes, from the basics,
okay.
Because if we want to know the advanced methods available, first of all, we should know the basic.
Yes, sir.
If you are very stronger in basic, learning the advanced version becomes very easier. So we start with the meaning of cryptography, the basic terminology, and the standard encryption technique. I will show the topic itself. We started with the topic classical encryption technique, standard encryption technique. See the model also, we come across conventional. It's called conventional crypto system model. Conventional means they were used in the olden days. Standard techniques yet to be discussed now. So in the coming days, we are going to see the standard technique also.
Yes, sir.
So in the beginning, we need to learn about the conventional methods available. Conventional means the methods which have been used for a very longer period in the olden days. Okay, if there is no clarification, let me move to the transposition technique. We have to complete transposition technique and steganography. So transposition technique. So far we have discussed about substitution technique. Substitution technique means what? Each and every letter in the plain text information, either you are substituting a single letter or a combination of letter. Either you taking a combination from the plain text, you are substituting a plain text information. So such a method is called substitution technique. But transposition technique, that means a permutation technique. We are going to hide the message by rearranging the letter order without altering the actual letter used. I'm going to use a table. I'm going to use a table in terms of rows and columns. The actual message, you can read it on alternate rows. The message will be given first row, second row, third row, and the fourth row. But how we are going to read the cipher? How we are going to prepare the cipher in terms of column? I will show the example. You can read the message. The message is given like this. Attack POS TPY1 DUNT ILT WOAMXZ. So like that, the message is given. This is the plain text information. The plain text information is given in terms of first row, second row, and third row, and the fourth row. But how we are going to convert the plain text to ciphertext information based upon the keyword? I'm going to write a number here. This number 431256 number. How I am going to write the number? You can see it here. First column, I'm going to take only the first column, then second, third, and fourth, thereby forming the ciphertext information. First column, TTNA caps. Second column, APTM. Third column, TSUO. TSUO. So like that, we are forming the ciphertext information. So plain text information will be given in a very straightforward manner when you try to read the message in terms of row. First row, second row, third row, if you are able to read it, that is the plain text information. But how to convert to ciphertext, we take the help of the key. Using the key, we are going to read the column-wise information. The column-wise information, see the first column. Even you can rearrange the key also. You did not put 4, 3, 1, 2, 5, 6. You can put 4, 2, 5, 6, 7 and 1, 3 also. You can rearrange the keyword. So based upon the keyword only, your plain text information converted to ciphertext information. This method is called encryption technology. So where we are doing the encryption technology at the center side. And you can read this method is called transposition cipher method. Message is written in rectangle. This is a rectangle, row by row. But the read of column by column, the order of the column read off is the key. So how to read the order of the column, that is given in the key. We are going to read the column wise information only as a ciphertext information. So this method is called transposition technique or transposition cipher method. During World War II, people were using secret information among the army, among their corresponding country, corresponding army. So mechanically cipher mission, extended in World War II, this mission had been used by Germany, Japan, Sweden during the World War II. And each and every type, Enigma type, Purple type, and the heckling type, these are the types used by this country to share the information among their army people. There are a number of rotors. You can see the number of rotors. This is one rotor, second rotor, third, 4, 5, 6. Likewise, a number of rotors are available inside the mission. So one rotor mission will prepare a polyalphabetic cipher with a period 26. Why 26 means generally they were using the language English. 26 alphabets available. So each and every mission will prepare a polyalphabetic cipher. And each rotor will give a cipher technology, cipher information that becomes input to the next rotor. After each symbol, the first rotor will be rotated. So there are 5 rotor missions are available. First rotor will prepare a polyalphabetic cipher. That output is given to the second rotor. The second rotor will give the input to the third rotor. Once the symbol is prepared, because each and every letter, every rotor will prepare one letter. Suppose 6 rotors are there. 6 letter symbol will be prepared. Then the first rotor will be rotated so that the position will be changed. So after a full rotation, the adjacent rotor is rotated. Likewise, you can prepare with a period 26 power n. Likewise, you can prepare a number of cipher method. 3 rotor mission shown here. And the direction of the motion is also shown there. The last technique is steganography. The last topic of the lecture is steganography. So far, substitution cipher, standard encryption cipher, then transposition cipher. Now the fourth one is steganography. So what do you mean by steganography? The art of covered writing. You are writing a message. That message should be completely covered. Security by obscurity is called steganography. That means I am not going to conceal the existence of the message. I am not going to protect the message in the plain text information. Instead of that, hide the message in other messages. You send a set of messages. For example, 10 messages, you send it between the sender and the receiver over the network. In the 10 message, you hide your message one in such a way, people will not be able to read the message, break the information, do crypto analysis or code breaking. In such a case, it is called steganography. So what are the applications of the steganography? What are the various features used in the steganography? Character marking. What do you mean by character marking? They will write the message over it with a pencil. Invisible link, pin puncher, first letter of each word. Invisible ink means a complete sentence will be given. You have to take the first letter only you coin a message. Letter position on the page, typewriter correction ribbon, micro dot, digital steganography, spread spectrum technique. These are the various features connected with this steganography. Now I'll show an example. So this is an example. A number of sentences are available in the total message. We are going to find the original message later on. You can read the message: news 8 weather, tonight increasing snow, unexpected precipitation, smoother eastern town, be extremely cautious, use snow tires especially, heading east, highways are knowingly slippery, highway evacuation is suspected, police report emergency situation in the downtown ending near Tuesday. This is the information, total information they are sending between the sender and the receiver using the method steganography. What is the keyword? First letter of each word. Now they will send a keyword information. In this message information, you try to take all the first letter and then coin the message. So what is the first letter information? New T is upset because he thinks he is president. Is the actual message. What is the first letter here? N is the first letter. Here, first letter, second word, E, W. Like that, they will coin the first letter from the total given message and they will prepare the original message. So this method is called steganography. One more information. This is the actual message given by a German spy during the World War II. The name is also given Kahn. He has given information. Apparently, neutral protest is thoroughly discounted and ignored. Yes, ma'am. Odd hit. Blockade issue affect pretext for embargo on by the product. Ejecting suit and vegetable oil. This is the actual message. Ciphertext information given between the sender and the receiver. How they are going to coin the information? Take only the second letter. What is the second letter they have taken? Everywhere second letter they have taken. Pershing sails from Newark, June 1st. Pershing is the name of the ship. Sails from Newark, June 1st is the information given by the spy from this information. So this methodology is called steganography. So far, what we have seen is, I've given an overview on services, mechanism, attack, OSI security architecture, network security model. But today's topic, 4 methods we have discussed. Classical encryption technique. The first method is called symmetric cipher model. Symmetric cipher model means conventional encryption model. The second one is substitution technique. We come across a number of cipher methods starting from CSS cipher to one-time pad. Transposition technique. We have seen one table, transposition technique, 5x5 table. Steganographic information. In the case of steganographic information, we come across 2 techniques. First letter coining. The second one is second letter coining. So these are the topics we have seen today, from services to steganography. From the next class, let us see the remaining portion of the unit, which corresponds to finite field and the number theory. So any difficulty on steganography and transposition technique, you can put it in the chat box. Any clarification or doubt regarding that one? Yes, steganography is nowadays used to code the message. Actually, it is not coding the message, they are concealing the message. Coding means you go for an algorithm. Whenever you go for an algorithm, you are coding. The process is called coding. You are converting the plain text information to ciphertext information using an algorithm, add in key. But here, they are protecting the information. They are protecting the information and doing such a way it is called steganography. Any clarification on steganography? Shall I close the lecture?